What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're doing a spoiler-free review of Kids versus Aliens. Let's get into it. So I saw a trailer or something for this a while ago, and it looked kind of fun, and I forgot that it's a Jason Eisner film, which is the guy who did Hobo with a Shotgun, and one of my favorite shorts, which is Treevenge, about a bunch of Christmas trees literally tearing the shreds out of people, babies, and the world, which kind of feel like I would like to see that movie made into a actual feature film, because this feature film is based off of VHS 2, which was the segment after Timo Tjahjanto's Safe Haven segment that everybody loves in VHS 2. But Jason Eisner actually decided to base his feature film off of this short from VHS 2 called Slumber Party Alien Abduction. I think I get that right. Yes. So what is Kids vs. Aliens all about? Well, it follows pretty much the same timeline and pretty much everything that went on in the short film, because I watched it directly after this film to kind of catch up on what parts they used and what they didn't. There was a lot of stuff that they used in this film that they used from the previous segment. However, if you remember, the Slumber Party Alien Abduction from VHS 2 was a found footage, and it was like one of the kids like documenting all the stuff that they do. Well, this one is a bunch of kids who love to cosplay all kinds of fighting aliens and wrestling. They even have their own wrestling ring in their backyard that apparently they do a lot of filming of their movie. And one day while they're having a party, that their sister, who is falling in love with this jockey guy, they basically have a party at their house while their parents are gone, and alien stuff ensues. Well, this takes it a lot further past the part in the shorts and goes a lot crazier. This is definitely more of a comedy than the short film was in VHS 2 as well. That one was actually kind of serious, and it was kind of sad, because if you remember, they tied a camera to the dog in that short, and yeah, it doesn't really end too well. No dog in this one that I remember, but anyway, this movie is going to be a hit or miss with some people. It does have all the crazy bright colors all over the place with the lights. They do neon like they did in Hobo with a Shotgun to kind of give it this sort of comic book feel / 80s overdoing it trope. But it is a very different tone, I think, than both of these films. Like it's very different than the VHS segment. It's very different from Hobo with a Shotgun. While Hobo with a Shotgun was actually very dark and funny as well, this one really kind of goes for that really jovial sort of kid kind of feel about it, even though the kids are cussing their brains out and there is some gore specifically to the aliens in this movie and possibly some of the kids. I won't say who, but it is a little bit more geared, it seems like, towards the kid. Now, I get vibes of different movies in this that reminds me of other things. Like there was a movie that was out on Netflix last year called Blasted, I think, that was from like the Netherlands, that was like a comedy where they're like fighting all these aliens and stuff as well. But laser tag movie kind of reminded me of that. It also kind of reminded me of another Netflix movie where a bunch of kids get invaded by aliens as well. This is a very fast-paced kind of film. In fact, the movie's only an hour and 15 minutes, and it is moving the entire time while you're watching it. So there are a couple of moments where they kind of have downtime to kind of talk about things, but everybody's all amped up like to the nth degree in this film. So the comedy is going to be a little over the top. It is better than something like I saw in the movie that was on Shudder here recently. It was called Sorry About the Demon, which is a little bit more on the drier side. This is more in your face, kind of like the kids were in Psycho Goreman. So that may be a make it or break it kind of thing for some people. It didn't really bother me too much until about halfway through, and then the movie sort of kind of fell apart, in my opinion. I honestly think that they should have kept it with the found footage sort of element in it, and it might have been better, but I think he probably wanted to try his hand at just doing a regular film like that instead of the short, which, you know, VHS 2 is found footage, so that's probably why he used that medium. But yeah, I think, I don't know, there's some funny stuff in this film. It is fun, you know, it's just not going to be on the same level as something like Hobo with a Shotgun, or, you know, know, Treevenge. Those movies are like really extremely gritty and very fucking like dark and satire. This has stuff like that in there. There's like moments that it's in there, but it really just kind of carries this sort of very bubblegum-esque sort of wrestling versus like Sentai kind of feel to it with the kids and how they speak to each other and like the aliens that are going crazy. It just has like a really kind of silly, fun vibe to it. In particular, I wasn't exactly jiving with 100% from, you know, start to finish. It's not a bad movie by any means. I just don't want people to get crazy expectations. Like if you absolutely loved Hobo with a Shotgun, and even that movie has some like slow parts in it that were kind of weird, but it was sort of taking the piss out of the genre cinema at the time. And this is kind of like a different pastiche version of that, a more overdone version of it. The characters are like pastiche of the characters in this short from VHS 2, and they are really extreme. Like the bully in this movie is just like so much, and you're just like, there's no way anybody would tolerate this guy in this movie, but that's just kind of the world that Jason has created for this. I don't know, there is gore in it, but it's not the greatest gore I've seen. It is, you know, not the most violent, disgusting kind of gore. It isn't the darkest gore. There are some dark moments with the kids that you're just like kind of like, okay. I think the kids like also kind of make you feel bad a little bit because they're cussing like crazy, man, but it doesn't really make the movie feel any more adult just by them cussing. So it really does at its heart feel like a kid's movie that's made for like 13-year-olds that would be watching this and going, holy shit, this is awesome. But for me, it just didn't really resonate with me as well as I wanted it to. It's still fun. Like I didn't hate it or anything like that. It's a noble attempt. I just feel like the comedy is going to be a little hit or miss with some of the people. The, you know, tongue-in-cheek stuff that they do in this might not hit everybody just right. And don't get me wrong, I actually really enjoyed the kids in this movie. Some of them are charming, some of them are but you know, I think this movie probably deserves about a 6.5. It's going to be high for some and low for others because it's just one of those things. If you like the comedy in the movie, you're going to enjoy it more. And if you don't, then yeah. But I think if you're a big fan of Jason Eisner, it's not a bad movie to watch, but just tone your expectations down a bunch. The end is a little weird, and it kind of left me like wondering how I feel about that. So I hope I didn't make it sound too bad. It's not a bad film. I just was expecting a little bit more because of how, you know, I haven't seen a movie by him in a while, and I really liked Hobo with a Shotgun, and I absolutely love Treevenge. So this movie is supposed to be on Shudder. It has not released on it yet. They've decided to go with a limited run with a VOD, so you pay like $6 to rent or $15 to own digitally. So I don't know what to expect when the date is to come. It wasn't on their, you know, January list of movies to come, so maybe they're gonna get it a couple of weeks later, which has been happening a lot lately. So, you know, keep an eye out for it on Shudder. I honestly think you could probably wait to see this movie, you know, so until it comes to Shudder if you have the service personally. But if you want to help support it and own it or whatever on digital, you can. But let me know what you guys think about this movie. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you so much for coming by, and as always, long live the void.